Alright, hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Let's see. Now, let's get Discord going. Everyone. There we go. Hey, Beaky, how are you? Alright. Not quite sure what we want to talk about today because yesterday's video, if we look, was not very much appreciated because I think I lost subscribers off of it. It was crazy. I haven't had a day of negative subscribers in a very long time. I think I lost 3 subscribers yesterday. And that's the most maybe ever. Let's see. Let me do last year. I lose them I lose them all the time, but a negative day is very rare. But a negative day of 3, that is, wait a minute. Okay, I have had a negative day of 2 before. But yeah, negative day of 3. And when I woke up this morning, I had lost 4 from the last time. From the night before. So, we've got it. Apparently, I was not as positive as I could have been. But alright, I hope you're doing well. I just got here. What wasn't much appreciated? I'm guessing yesterday's video. Because I lost 3 subscribers yesterday. The data to show how many subscriber per, because YouTube actually does a very interesting job of tracking all of that, and it'll actually tell you where the subscriber gains came from and losses. Like when you actually lose a subscriber off a video, so they'll actually be watching the video and then click unsubscribe. I don't know, there's just something about that. You're just like, man, they saw this and they're like, I definitely don't want to watch this stuff anymore. I don't know, like being on the channel and you're like, because if they're on, I'm not so good anyways. My university gave me assignment, create a program to check leap years, but with C++, and I don't even know about C++. So I'm like, maybe so they just gave you an assignment and they said you have to learn C++ just at the beginning to just do the assignment. And it didn't even get discussed. That's insane. I guess the way that I would go about doing that is, do you have a language that you've written that program in? And then I would use, what I would do is then I would Google, because you don't want to use ChatGPT to do it, because you want to get something out of it. But you would take the structure that you've already created, like So one, have you ever written for a leap year? Do you know the rules for a leap year? Because a leap year is pretty interesting. It's not as simple as you think it is if you know all the rules. So write it in whatever language you have written it before, and just get the rules down. And then, because it is just nested ifs for for the scenarios, because if it's divisible by 4 and it's divisible by 400, or divisible by 100, but then also has to be divisible by Python. Have you written it in Python? Because what I would do is I would have those side by side, Do I have Notepad++ open? Yeah, let me show you. So this is probably way too big. But this is why I like Notepad. You know the rules. You know the one about the century marker? Because that's the one that surprised me. The thing is to run C++, you need to understand compilers. Yeah, that's not fun. So you have to. Yeah, but remind me with C++, I think you run an intermediary step to see if it compiles first, right? And then you can run the code. Why would you ever make? Oh, it's the assignment, Nico. It's the assignment that Peaky has to make. All right, but I guess I would put it side by side. So I would just put it side by side, and then have Google help me understand. So because what does C++ even have? Can I? No, I don't know why my university interested. Got it. Yeah. All right. So let's see. So I'm getting closer on getting this to work because I'm realizing that let's run this, is that I'm realizing that, and I missed this in the assignment, was that I need to build basically a temporary table and then build off of this and have the historical data. So I'm getting very, very close. Yes, I know, but still use different programs for different projects. I guess I can kind of understand the argument of wanting everyone to have have a more generalized background, and also if you have individuals who come out of that university, somebody who's hiring goes, I know they're going to have a in-depth background. So those are the type of things that I guess are beneficial. Because I know quite a few institutions here in the States that they only will hire from certain places because they know that they're going to be vetted and battle hardened and be able to handle anything that gets thrown at them. Because that's the thing that is really interesting, especially about my last role, is that my title was as a data analyst, but I was a level above the other analysts on the team, and I was specifically responsible for automation. All right, actually, the university is teaching C++ first, so I'll have to complete the assignment in that language. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the thing that I think I hated about C++, now I could, if I had to, I could probably go and learn it, even though I am extremely gun shy, because that was my first language that I tried to learn, and it did not go well because it just seemed extremely complicated. But with all the brackets and everything, if I remember, or is that Java with all the brackets? I guess I can't quite remember myself. But yeah, so the setting up of the data pipeline, that let's see, come through here. So what was so very interesting to me was how much Python is used, and they have all these other terms. So Snowflake, and it's all SQL, or wait a minute, creating the DAGs. And this is what was so very cool to me. go out and get the web event. I don't know. Can everybody see this? Yeah. Go get the web event. Let's see. I don't think I'm having any proprietary data come through and show. But how Python heavy it was. I knew it was going to be, but I thought it was going to be a little bit, but it is completely everything. And just, I can't remember. So this right here is an Airflow project. We can't get into Airflow because on this hard drive, I can't get Docker. So the dependencies here are Docker and Airflow. And to get a snapshot of the image, then we create the step, then we go into stage. So one thing that it took me a while to understand, so if you haven't heard of production level events, so you have dev, you have stage, and you have prod. So prod, production. So as you go through, you want it to go and move into stage, and then you're going to do some checks on some data quality to ensure, I think Nico's sending some stuff. Then as you go through each step, what did Nico send? What did you send, Nico? What does all that do? I see a keyboard wait. Import platform. I guess I don't know that. Linux exit. This script is only meant to be run on Linux. That's good. That's good. Don't over communicate. That's a great thing to be doing. All right. Let's go back to chat and see if there's anything there. No Python road never worked. Any programming language is hard. When is your first time programming? Right, Peaky. What I want to help is if you're fairly good with Python, I believe you're going to be able to transfer this over and be able to write. And I don't even want to join university here in Pakistan. Parents like degree is important, so I joined because of family pressure. I get it. No, I get it. Yeah, family pressure's the same everywhere. Adds clipboards to Linux. Okay, cool. So I would just, if it's something, if you got to do it, you got to do it, right? So just what I would do is I would either have it in Python right beside me and know how I would attack it. So we got three ifs, I guess one if, two elifs, yeah. So, but it's just syntax, and as I guess, because I was terrified about having to learn SQL. And everyone, do me a favor and hit the like button for me. So I was terrified about learning SQL, so I got a SQL book. Syntax is different, right? Yes, I 100% know. But if you think about it, you're still going to have an order. You're still going to have variables. You're still going to have order of operations. It may be slightly different, but it's not. It still flows. It still flows down the instructions, order of operations, and the way that you intend to, because it's not as much different as going to like SQL, where you have rows and columns and you have to envision it differently. 100% the syntax is different, but you're still going to have loops in C++, right? C++ loops. Bet it's going to be very close to, because I hate loops in yeah, that looks like loops in Visual Basic. That is awful. Yep, you have to initialize the starting point. Include ISO input output stream int and the while loop and int main standard count. There's chevrons everywhere. That is awful. Return and then do while. C++ if statement. Condition, if condition. Then code execute, brackets, and then elif. If statement. C++ elif statement. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so there is no elif. It's just else. So it's if, and then else if. That's elif. Okay. All right. Don't get the chevrons. Standard count. That's not even count. That's count. C out. Output. Oh, okay. Standard C output, standard end, inline. Okay. All right, let's go back. Oh, okay. I got it. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. All right, so let's see. So building a pipeline is a very interesting technique. So what you have to do is you have to one, you have to have a working query, and you have to have a base setup. You have to set up the table and the design, and you need to understand what you're going to try to accomplish. So let's see where we want to start today. So what? Create. Let's pull this up. Let's get dbeaver going, and then we'll go from there. Because right now, like I said, I don't think I can access. So, Snowflake. We have Snowflake. You have Apache Airtable. Excuse me, Airflow. Airtable is something completely different. Airflow. All right. So let's look at. Yeah. Don't need to upgrade. Have we created any tables before? And my syntax, create table, and then let's just see. Let's see if this will work. So you have to set up. You have to set the table up that you're going to be building. So you also have to. Now this is a little weird in SQL. Is that all right? Set up table and then create table. And then drop table. So we're gonna call this. I don't know if this will work, but we're gonna try it. Typically, typically you have project, schema, table. Schema is closer to the database itself, and then inside the database you have tables so you can associate with them. And then the project is as you're manipulating or working through, like in BigQuery. Here's a perfect example of what I was doing in BigQuery. Walmart had a section of BigQuery, so we were allocated this blank space, and then your overall team was then given a project. So you were given that billing. So it would be three things. It'd be like Sam dot music dot. So project Sam, schema database, and then the name of liked songs. Boom. And that would be it. That's not what I wanted to do. But we're just gonna go and do this. I don't know if I'm gonna be allowed to make anything here. Let's comment this out. There we are. Okay. Now, I need to look at let's stick with, actually, we can just come and look here, because I have to look at this stuff all the time, because I know what I want to do. Don't get hung up, and also, Peaky, don't get hung up on the exact syntax. Don't get down into the weeds about that. You can always look that up. I forget who said it the other day about there's so many libraries we don't have to actually create anything. Oh yeah, you do. So let's look here. Create, yeah. So comma, and then you go through. All right. So there we go. So create. What do we want to do this? Actors. Then here we are. So to give you an idea, actor, and then what varchar actor ID integer There we go. Okay. Sorry. All right. Sometimes I just lose hope that I can do it. Nah. That's the thing. You just have to. There's a famous Disney movie. You just got to keep swimming. So, all right, because when you show up every day, things just they fall into place, I guess the best way to put it. And you start to examine things, and you go back and you just start, and you go back and you just start, and you go back and you start, and then you just like, wait a second, we do this because of this reason. So as we're creating a table, so typically if you haven't created any tables before and you're just usually on the side of querying tables, you're like, wait a minute. So what you have to do is you're going through and you're describing the columns, and then you also have to say what type of information it is. So this is the downside of where we've gotten very spoiled with Python, that we just create a variable and Python will understand what type of variable it is. Well, in SQL and in databases and in tables, they're very homogeneous. They can only be a certain type. So then we had movie, and that is also a varchar. Year. We're gonna do year as an integer, I think, because then we may be counting. We're either gonna be counting or incrementing. So we're gonna be doing that. So year, and then integer, and then like I said, I don't know if I have access to this. Is active, and this is Boolean. That's what I like. Boolean. That's the way I like to say it. All right. And then also, you want to do this along with this as well, because if something happens, so let's talk about the difference between drop and delete. Drop is you're going to get rid of the entire table, and these go together. Okay. These go together because if you need to redo anything in here. Oh, wait a second. I'm thinking, is it this way? All right. I think that's the way you can get away with. Why is that there? All right. I think this is the way that, because there's different techniques of giving a column name a keyword. You can do it because there are times where you're going to need to use that, but you have to escape around it. You have to sometimes it's depending on the type of SQL you're using. Sometimes you can use quotation marks, and sometimes you have to use brackets. I don't know, and I have no idea if I have access to write in this, but we're gonna find out. Let's see. Looks like it went through. Create table. Let's do refresh. Okay, so cool. Yeah, 100% completely legal to do this. So now, all right. That would be very interesting. So, all right. So the technique that we were doing. So I was coming through and I was creating basically a copy of a table. And it's an interesting technique, and it took me forever to wrap my head around it. So as you're going through, and now also, have I shown you how to hardwire? So basically, if the actor is there, and has a movie, they're active, right? So basically it would be the same thing as this. So if I were to be using this other table, which happened to be actor films. So what was very interesting is all of this, and we were using Coalesce. It was one of the, and when I read in some notes, is not, so I love I hate true and false, but then when I find something like this, I hate it a little less. So basically is not null. So let's look at this. And then we were also let's see, can I make a fake table? I wonder. We could make a fake table. Let's see. And then we need to go and create a DAG. Let's remember what a DAG stands for. So in Airflow, basically you're creating a file. DAG data engineering. It's like direct optional. Hang on. Yeah, here we go. Let's look at this. Let's see, can everyone see this? All right. Yes, state, yeah, and then we have dims, so like dimensions. But DAG, where to go? Directional, acyclic graph. I guess I thought it made more sense than that. So, but it is a set of instructions, and then you end up writing it in Python. Excuse me. You end up writing it in Python. The job triggers. You set a time. It goes through all of your events. It brings in any. So what is extremely helpful with this is it accesses all of your credentials. You like it is a full running. It's a full running scenario. I guess I was very, very spoiled when I was using Dataiku. I mean, it was the same concepts, but Dataiku was running and handling all of it for us. I was extremely spoiled because I was hitting all sorts of. I had multiple flows. I think one of the scenarios that I had like 50 or 60 flows that happened all at one time, and then they would load into all of the appropriate databases, tables, and then in that instance we would be able to access and use everything. So all right, let's go back to this technique about looking at this year's data compared to last year's data. And I need to get OBS set up on the other hard drive so we can actually play around with these DAGs and you guys can see it. All right. So now that, well, let's go ahead and show you. So if I go select star from actors and I run this, it's completely empty. All right. But I have, and as you can see right here, let's see. Oops. Where's oh yeah, let's start closing this out. This is why I liked. This was a great place to start for me when I was learning the actual creating. So here's actually, so all right, I know this is weird. Let's go back here. So I created the table right there. Queried the table. Here's the results. Now, I actually then opened up. Let me make sure everyone can see this. Let me slide this down just a little bit. There we go. So I double-clicked actors, and I actually then get the table itself. This isn't a query. This is the table. So right here in dbeaver, I don't know where it is in any other database application. So this is actually the design. That's the data. I lived right here. And where I really learned how to do this was this DDL, this structure right here. And it was creating it, like I would go and see how these were created, and I was like, oh, that's what it's done. So if you look, it took our query and basically just loaded it into here. So that when and you can actually come in here and create, what is it? Edit, few columns, create. Yeah, you can just create more columns, and then, oh yeah, actually, let's see. We'll do this year. Active last year, and that's what I wanted. And that's going to be a Boolean. Blob. Why? Hang on. Is active? Yeah, it has it as a Boolean. Don't know why I'm saying Boolean this year. I've never said that. Is active last year. Blob. What is blob? What's blob? Blob in dbeaver. How do I set real text, integer, numeric? All right. How do I set a Boolean in dbeaver? Now I'm in GitHub. Well, how about we just say that we're going to set this, and I'll show you the persist. But you can also then do persist is active last year. We'll do text. And if you didn't want it to be null, so it actually had to take in a value or it would crash, you'd click not null. And then save, and then you're going to get this persist right here. So this is actually how you alter a table. So this can be very handy. So alter table, what table, add, and what type. So we could actually do this right here and change this to Boolean. And then run. And then we can come back here and see, and we can refresh. Let's close this. Cancel. Let's see. No. Let's see if it took. And then refresh. Columns. Bingo. So there we are. All right. Is that showing? I don't want that to be showing. It's not. And you can revert back as well. All right, let's see. Any questions on any of this so far? Because I know databases can be really, really weird, but I'm also trying to do this to cement this in my head. So when I get an interview, because I haven't talked about database design in a long time, and my wife got me a new book about fundamentals of data engineering, and it is extremely handy. So all right, let's see. We don't need that. That is a long script. Don't need that one either. And we're here. All right. And let's run this, and we should get. Yep, is active last year. So what was so interesting to me, and I like it. It is akin to the problem of where you take you create an intermediary step, and for some of us, it's a lot harder than others. So let's look at something that I'm hoping might help. All right. And this is weird. I'll actually let's make this smaller. So 5-gallon bucket and a 3-gallon bucket, right? And you got to get 4. So you can't fit 4 in here. So it's going to end up in here. So if we think about this, how can we get 4? And one of the solutions that I came up with, I mean, you go back and forth and you can end up figuring it out. But what was so interesting, and this I know this probably sounds like it makes no sense, but this intermediary step of creating a table, creating all of them, and then going through years at a time. And that's where the power of a DAG or a workflow is. As you iterate through there probably is a way to iterate through and trigger these using Python and having us go through. And it is very similar to like an API that when I was using, when I was screening for the stock market, you were only going to be able to get 500 at a time. So you had to take the entire list, take the entire list of stock tickers, stock symbols, do 500 increments, iterate through until you get to the end. So there has to be a way to be able to do a DAG. There probably is, and I just have missed it. But you do a DAG and you iterate through. Excuse me, everyone. I apologize. You iterate through and until you get all the years that are standard. Oh, and I also learned this past week that if the date ending hasn't ended, the best practice is doing year 9999, not null, because null doesn't exist. It just holds. It's a placeholder. So you cannot do a between. So apparently the best practice for dates of a active user is to fill in that column with their end date being year 9999. That's 4 nines. Whatever 4 nines is, 999999. There we go. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to this weird example. Okay, I appreciate that, Peaky. All right. Let's see. So whenever there's an intermediary step, it always seems to stump me. And I always, after I realize what's going on, I try to think about this example right here. So until I heard somebody say you have to create an intermediary table, I don't know why that word is stumping me today. Then it completely got me. So I needed to create this entire table, and you do it one step at a time until you get all the years. I did it manually for about 10 years, and then it really started to show up. But I've got to figure out a way to automate it for all 110 years, because I think the first movie started coming out in in 1913. All right, but let's look at this. Oopsie. That's my energy juice drink. All right. So, and you can always go backwards too. That is, I forget who taught me that. You can kind of cheat and do a maze, and if you start at the end, it's always easier to get to the beginning if you start at the end. So, all right, let me see if I can do this the first time through. So we'll end up with 4 here. Well, let's say 4 is about right here. All right. So, all right, so 4, and then what kind of combination do you have to get this? So, 2 of these, 2 of these, that's 10, that's 6, 10 minus 6, 4. When I looked at this different way, this came very, very interesting to me. So you may have already see the answer. So, all right. So you fill this up, pour it into here, empty this, throw this out. So we're minusing 3. Then you fill up, so you have 2 left. So this gets poured out. Then you pour this into here. So you have 2. Fill this up again. That gets us to our 10. And then you fill this up the remainder of the way with 1. And you get 4 is remaining in here. I don't know. I like this example so much for a intermediary step. Hey, I said it right that time. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on this morning. So when you're doing that, you're giving yourself a break and you're going through. So as we'd be over here, let's go back. Here we are. And this is not null. So we're coalescing. So I'm actually literally my fake table that I've made that's completely empty. It is sitting over here and it is, if I do star. So I love this coalesce, and this is so weird. Coalesce is a very interesting technique. So what I'm doing is basically, if this column is null, do this. Oopsie, I did not know that interpreter could do that. Okay. If this is null, use this. But if it's not, put this in there. So it is the most elegant, and I had never heard of it before, so that shows you how much SQL gap that I have, and I thought I was pretty darn good with SQL. I thought I had spent quite a bit of time learning SQL, but coalesce is very, very powerful. So I'm joining this on the previous. So I had last year and this year, and I'm merging. I'm joining these, and then I'm looking, because I was trying to use lag on this, and the problem with lag is the problem with lag is when you got to multi, it couldn't quite handle, because I thought if we tried to partition, I spent a lot of time trying to partition this on, but the problem is if they're not, when they're not there, when they're absent. But this technique uses very, very well, and I'm trying to iron this out to get this to, let's see. What do I want to say? So I'm assigning a specific previous year, and I'm building this. So you would build this as, you would iterate through and use a few years. But you would typically do this as, you would use this in a workflow and have it run each time for you and do backfills. So that term is apparently very heavily used, and the backfill is if you need to go in, oh my gosh, and add a column or change a column, and that can be very, very costly, and it has to spend a lot of time, and it could run for days and days and days. So yes. So all right, so we're looking right here, and it's combining on the other value. Hang on. Yes, so here we go. So I have two tables. So let's actually, do I want to do star? Let's just do star here so everyone can see how blank this stuff is. Yeah, so all right. So here we are. So I love this technique. I stole this from a old coworker. So it's just 100. It's just at all the columns from last year. So we can comment all that out, but let's see. Sorry to disturb you, but I know functional programming and I know Python. So like Python is my language. Forget about OOP. You want a job? I got it. Well, yeah. Before you want a job before February, yeah. I'm right there with you, Peaky. I want a job. I want a job too. I have whatever you want to do. I mean, you have to start. It all depends. I mean, do you want to be a software engineer? There's a lot there. But I have no idea. Do you have a portfolio of things on GitHub that you'd be able to show and be able to share of the things that you've built? That's going to be extremely important. And if you've already graduated from because I think we were talking about you wanting to go and finish up and get graduate school. Hey Venky, how are you? Glad to have you here today. Graduate school can separate you, but I mean, you just need to be doing something that you want to be doing. So, all right. So we're back here and we set all these apart. So this is what was so very interesting about this line right here. So is not null. So is not null. So let's just think about that. Let's come over here and do this. So basically, can I assign this to? Yeah. So watch this. So is X. Because I thought that was going to be, so is none, is X none. We'll do trues and false. Well, I mean, what's going to help you get a job is showing that you can do the job you want to get. That is the absolute most important thing, is proving to someone to either have them talk to you or trust the project to even bring you in. But they're going to want to talk to you. So you need to be able to showcase your abilities. And just so applying for jobs is important, but what can you prove that you're capable of doing the job you're applying for, that they even want to talk to you? And that's where my struggle is right now, is that I'm having a challenge of getting through even to the interview process with the lack of a degree. So here, let's just go back to X is true. So X true is okay. True equal true. All right. So false. This is what I love. False. Not true. There we go. So, false is not true. That is a truthy statement. And that was what blew me away. So, when we're using this terminology right here, basically, is last year, because if it is, if last year is, so here's last year, and then we turn that into active last year. So we have these side by side. So since there is nothing last year, they were not. So this is null, because everything in these columns right here. I wish we could highlight columns. Everything in these columns is from 1913. From 1913. There were no films in 1913. You're not graduated yet either. Well, I mean, if you're able to program and you're able to showcase things that you've built, you should have a very easy time. If you're good at programming, I promise you, they don't care if. But that's the challenge, to get in front of people to showcase what you're capable of doing. That is going to be a challenge. I will just tell you right now, because I'm struggling with that myself. To just even get in front of somebody, to even talk and prove that I can learn and I can overcome challenges, and I'm really, really good with working with others, especially stakeholders, to build them the products that they need. That is, everybody says that. And everybody says, oh yeah, I want to work really, really hard, until they come in and they hit something that's really challenging, and then they want to go, all right, I'm going to leave after 6 months. Well, the things that I'm really good are not quantifiable, and they're very hard to articulate. So it's a challenging time. So Peaky, it's going to be not easy, but if you can build good products and you can solve good problems, people will want to hire you. That's the real truth. If you can build good products and solve real world problems. So yeah. And if you can do that, you'll very, very easily find a job. So, all right. So then after we put a couple, so here's also what's very, this is what blew me away. All right, here, hang on. Where do we want to go? Oh, we're back here. Insert into. So then, and you will get into some issues of having the alignment be correct. So insert into actors. And then you're going to... Whoa. That is the that's the challenge. That's exactly what I'm dealing with right now. I submit probably anywhere between 6 and 10 resumes a day, and I try to reach out to the actual recruiter themselves. So you and I are in the same boat. What are triple comparisons instead of double? It's like an in between, right? A triple comparison. Vinky, give me more on that. A triple comparison? Let's see. It's like, okay. Let's see what Vinky might be. Triple comparison. And it even popped up in Python. A triple comparison. Oh, the equal sign? I don't think I've ever seen a triple equal sign. Double is equivalent. Single is assignment. Triple comparison. Python does not have built-in triple comparison operator like some other languages, C++. I've never even heard of it. You've got me beat there. Oh, like this? Oh, a triple comparison. Hang on. Wow, can't find. I mean, like that? Yeah, I've never seen that before in my life. Let me go back over here to chat. Yeah, I've never... I don't know. Let's A equals 3, B equals 2, C equals 1. Never had a need to try this? Okay, I guess we can do it. And let's see if this should work, because this should work. Oh. A needs to be 3. A needs to be 2. Yeah, okay. So apparently well, it's like an in between. No, are they all equivalent? Because you're saying they all have to be the same, because I just inadvertently had A be 3 here. So I guess I've never had a need to do that. Maybe first. Well, if you did that, then what would happen is you'd turn this into a Boolean. Oh, that would be a use case. So if we did that, what my Python interpretation brain says this will be false. And the reason why is because I believe this should be then a Boolean, and then you're comparing a Boolean to a value of 2. That's what I would do. Strictly Python blank. Let's see if this works. That's exactly what I thought. So this will not work because, again, this returns a Boolean. Hello, Kratos. How are you? So with adding this step right here of the parentheses, we're saying do this step first. Then what does this return? This returns a Boolean. Then we're doing an equivalent equivalency test of a Boolean to a value. So if we were to change, we're just kind of all over the place today, Kratos. So then if we were to change C to true, then let's do this. Now this should be true. Bingo. Don't know I can't think of a use case to do something like this, but that would be that. If you had some reason you're like, man, is this going to be true? I need to find out. Boom. And then you do that right there. So, all right. So let's see. So let's say we had some results from a different table. Select star, and I wanted to load them up into, let's say, like actor film. It doesn't exist, but right now that's fine. And so all conditions need to be true. No, all conditions need to all values need to be equivalent. Let's go back. So here, straight across, all values are 2. A's 2, B's 2, C's 2. So this equivalency is true because A, B, C are all equivalent. So when I did this, that is a truthy statement because A is 2, B is 2, C is 2. Now, Peaky threw out, what happens if we put parentheses around here? And I guessed correctly, but I knew that this was going to return because just like this equivalency, an equivalency test is going to return a Boolean because is this a what type of the statement, falsy or truthy? Well, that's a truthy statement, so I will get a true result. Now, when we threw in the parentheses, that means do this first, and whenever we do an equivalency, we get a truthy falsy statement. Well, we're then going to be comparing that to a value. So true is not equivalent to 2, even though I did not enunciate that very well. Venki said, now that's interesting. Yes, that will be true because you'd break this up. So Venki just went A, B, and B equals C, which that would be, I guess, redundant because we could just replace. So yeah, I need same values for A, B, and C. Yep. So this is also. Oh, that's interesting. Let's check. Do we still have them all the same? We changed C to true. My bad. C equals 2. There we go. Bingo. But that's redundant. We could just do that. So we can just close that bridge. So there we are. All right. Let's see. It is 9:02. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this. So here's where it gets very interesting. So in this example, right here. So get rid of the star. Let's run this again. And so I get this, and then literally, then I'm going to wrap, and it's not even a wrap. It goes ahead of it. So it's going to be the equivalent of this. where that was my output, or that my query here, and then I were to go actor ID is active, and then is active last year. That's weird. Last year, don't know why it's doing that. And then year. So now, here's the caveat. If these, what was that? 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. So if these, easy, but why need 3 values all the time? I guess we check 2. I think that was just a hypothetical discussion of, can we check more than one? Can we do a triple comparison? And never had an example of needing to do a triple comparison. I guess to speed up, if you're wanting to check and see if all the values are the same. I guess perfect example. Okay, here's the use case: an equilateral triangle. Boom, you have all 3 sides. You go doom, 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 doom. Check, check, check. And then you're able to write a UDF, and you have is this an equilateral triangle? Return A equivalent to B equivalent to C, and you'd be able to unpack those sides, and you'd return. It's rarely done, mostly in math. Bingo. Yeah. We haven't had a lot of math stuff, and all right. Hey, how are you? Hi, UD. I gotcha. So all right, let's go back here. So we have this query. I could literally just, and you don't even wrap it, and that's what it seems so weird to me in SQL coming from the Python world that I would need. Hi, UD. I gotcha. No. This is the first time I've seen you. So thanks for coming to hang out if you want to learn. But I've never seen you before. All right. So if you have a query, and then so we collected that information, and then we don't want to have to query that again. UD, I want you to relax, or I'm gonna kick you. Okay? Let's just chill. We're here to talk about some things. Correct, but then right, and then Vinky, have you ever done where then you create a table that then, because think about it, explode this out where we have millions and millions of rows of data. And other people are doing this query, and they're constantly doing this query, and you're like, all right, let's see. There we go. All right. I hate it for UD, but that was just a lot. we don't do that here. All right. Okay, let me read through this. Right, yes. So then we just throw this insert on top of this, and it will then write all of our yes, but we were creating that they were active. So the active, you're 100% correct. The challenge for this is we did not know. We created is active, and we created is active last year. So then what the challenge is and I'm not even really sure how to do this. I just want to get a working query, because the real trick. I do not know why my mouth is not working today, so I apologize, everyone. Maybe he's got bad internet. Who knows? I think that was just a very young person. I mean, to come in and jump in and ask to be made mod. So, I mean, I don't think they were interested in learning anyway. I think they just wanted to be on somebody's channel and be in a stream. I get it. I was young. Some would argue I'm still young now. All right, but I digress. So the changing year. So we need to get these, and then we hey TCG, how are you? And then we need to do a comparison. So we would get, and I was grateful I was able to get this to work and understand the coalesce and the understand between this. And I only was querying because what I need to do is then write, hey, precode, then write this to my intermediary table, which I would throw this in and then change my dates and get a few years. Awesome. Well, good luck to you on that. I know I tried to make a game for a while, like a little, I think I called it a tank game. I think I have it on my GitHub. And scoring was bad, and the sprites, I lost control of the sprites when they were hitting the bottom and all the blocks. The technique that I used when the blocks would start stacking up and I was not destroying them. I was, hey, precode. And, sorry, trying to figure out. Yeah, and then I was making them invisible. I wasn't killing them off as they were jumping down. All right, precode. Let's relax. I got you. I wonder if precode is precode. Is this UD? Yep. There we go. Let's see. Participants. That's not what I want to do. Well, they're probably just jumping in and wanting to be here and are inexperienced, peaky. So they're probably just trying to make it through their day, and that's their entertainment. So we just have to try to be understanding, because we don't know what they're going through, right? We have no idea how they're handling their stress or what stress they have. So we don't know. All right. So let me go back here. So what you're going to have an issue with is you're going to be very, very careful. This is a bad idea. This only works if you're really, really sure about how many columns you have. But if they do happen to be the same, it is. But again, a few years ago, I probably wouldn't. I would have probably gotten pretty frustrated. But I have no idea. I keep thinking about. Yeah, I don't have a job right now, but there are a lot of people a lot worse off than I am. So, I think they're spam. Yeah. I mean, and that's when you put yourself out there. That's what you open yourself up to. But did I read it? No. I saw a video of it, and it was a very interesting thing. It was a student going around, and the teachers were really cool, allowing them to go through. Pretty sure it's just the same person, and they just have multiple accounts. So we'll see, because our numbers don't really change. So if we had this many people come in that quick, I should have a lot more viewers right now, but I do not. So all right, but the quote that the student was going around and he was recording, and ooh, there we go. There we go. I didn't know there was a timeout. So they are in timeout. This is very cool, because I'm probably only going to be on here for a little bit longer. Awesome. So I can kick temporarily. Okay. That is very interesting. All right. So not only... and I can do up to 24 hours. All right. Oh, but the environment. If you think about it, is this... I like this line from Shaquille O'Neal. His dad. I don't know if you know who Shaquille O'Neal is. Big old basketball player. Really smart. I call it life smart. But he was playing. He was a young guy when he was playing, and his dad was tough. His dad was tough. Cop, drill sergeant, blah 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 blah. And his dad and Shaquille O'Neal played an awful game. And his dad was like, "What was that?" No, are you okay? It was, what was that? And he's like, "Man, I was playing Patrick Ewing and I was stressed." And he said his dad looked at him. He said, "Get in the car." His dad was a cop too at that time, so he knew what was going on. He knew people who had stuff going on that was stressful. He was, "Get in the car." He drove him down to downtown Orlando, and he pulls up to this family living out of their van. He goes, "That is stress." He goes, "They don't know where their next meal is coming from. You play a basketball game. You don't know what stress is. Get out of the car, go over there and see what you can help them with tonight." And he said, "I never stressed out playing basketball again." And so it's all about perspective. It is 100% perspective. Oh, crap. I haven't even recorded today's video. Shawshank Redemption movie. That's a really good movie. That is an absolutely outstanding movie. Oh yes. Watch that movie a ton. I am a huge... that is Stephen King, right? I'm a huge Stephen King fan, just because complex characters and all of that. But yeah, Shawshank is a fantastic movie. All right, let's see the lighting and then maybe get today's video done, because I should have done that earlier. I don't think I recorded today. All right. Yesterday's video did not go well. It's never bad as you think it is. That's funny. We need to turn a want into a need. That sounds too motivational. Let's do imposter syndrome. All right. We've been on an hour and 28 minutes. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to forget this other quote. So that Shaquille O'Neal one was good. I'll have this up so I'll remember. The one about the high school principal that I thought was extremely cool. We have boiling water. You put an egg in boiling water, it gets hard. You put a potato in boiling water, and it gets soft. So which are you going to be? Are you going to be the egg or the potato? Same environment. You just have to choose. All right. Don't worry. Give me some time, Sam. I'm thinking about creating some good logos and thumbnails for you. I don't want... Well, I appreciate that. No stress. I think you have enough on your plate, Peaky. But I do appreciate it. Whoa. Huh. $11 a.m. Intersection of South College and Donahue. Interesting. Sorry. I have a lot of interesting. A friend of my dad's just texted me, a pretty big deal banker here in our town, and he just sent me a text of a cookout today. he's a cool dude. Now my let's see. Okay. All right. No, I know, and I know my next job. This is what. Okay. I know wherever my next job is going to come from, it's going to come from the weirdest places of all. Hey, Best Dream, how are you? I'm having a feeling you may have been here before, Best Dream. Would you also be UD Tech and Precode and Anshi? Oh, that wouldn't happen to be. That wouldn't happen to be you, Best Dream, would it? You wouldn't happen to have a whole bunch of accounts, would you? So. Yeah, I do. But I know you have a lot going on. All right, let me check the lighting, and then ooh, let's see. I think that looks okay. What is imposter syndrome? What is imposter syndrome? You have imposter syndrome, and it's okay. Are you an imposter? Are you an imposter? Imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? What is imposter syndrome? You have imposter syndrome. Okay, there we go. So you have imposter syndrome. Hi everybody, this is Sam with Python Basics. So I've been spending a lot of time on this subject, and actually I don't know if I didn't look at my clock. Hang on. So you have imposter syndrome. Hi everybody, this is Sam with Python Basics. So I've been thinking a lot about this subject and this topic and feeling this feeling constantly, and then it goes away, and then it comes back, and then it goes away, and then it comes back. So here's my working theory on it. If you have it, that means you're doing something you've never done before, right? So, what's also come to mind is the statement, it's not a science, it's an art. Well, if you've never recreated that algorithm or written that function or done that thing before, you're having to feel your way through it. And that's the art aspect. So I actually theorize that programming and problem solving and creativity all come from the same aspect of our brains, and the way that then it comes out of us, but then it circles back. So I would have said years ago that I was an analytical person, but the way that I solve problems now is that you can't put me in that bucket of an analytical person. I am a creative problem solver. There's a term at Google is called smart creatives. So, and also, pretty good cook. Now, I can't draw, but if I would probably sit down and try to, and I would be given some techniques, I probably could do something. But let's go back to what the imposter syndrome is. You've created something that you've never done before, right? And you're like, I don't feel, it's uncomfortable, it's uneasy. But then you have to go and solve a problem the next day, and it is familiar, and you just crank out this piece of code, and you're like, yeah, that's exactly right, and it works, and you feel good about yourself, and you feel really, really smart. And then the next day, and this this could be happening in the same day, same hours apart from each other, and you just go and you just are like, I'm really, really smart, I'm so stupid, and you just go back and forth and back and forth. But again, I just want to articulate, you are solving things that have never been done before. So you're a smart creative. And you feel like you're out of place because you're learning and you're challenging yourself. So it's this back and forth and this back and forth, and it's okay. And what I really want to say is, if you do not feel like an imposter at times, you're not growing. That was kind of this last epiphany for myself, is that if I didn't feel that way, and I'm really uncomfortable right now with everything that I have going on with the things that I'm trying to learn and skill up in the next few weeks, so I can really lock in a job and be able to put Snowflake, Iceberg, Docker, all of these other things, Airflow. But they're all Python and SQL, right? So does it still terrify me that I need to do it? Yes. But I look back at the things that I've already solved before and go, if I can solve that, I can solve this. I had an old boss, actually it was my boss's boss. She would always put yet at the end of it. I don't know how to do this yet. So just wanted to share this because you're probably here watching my channel because we're very similar, and everything that I'm doing on my journey, I'm trying to share and save anybody just a little bit of pain. So down below is a link for the Discord server. So I just wanted to invite you to come over there, get the support that you need and deserve to have, and ask any questions you need. Drop any comments, questions, video requests, anything like that. We're all in this together. I'm trying to share my journey so everyone can learn from it, get some motivation, commiserate together, however you want to look at it. But as always, thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. All right. It's half past here. I think it's half past everywhere. There are a few time zones where it's less than that. But let me click over to chat and see anybody. Let's see. Let's see. No. Okay. Hey, Best Dream. Sorry about that. We've had some spammers coming in here. Self-doubt. No, it doesn't feel like self-doubt to me. It feels like unworthiness. More of a, I'm not worthy to have this job. It's I don't deserve to be here. And then maybe an aspect of it, I'm never going to figure this out. This is insolvable. But it's more of I shouldn't have this job, and I'm in over my head. That type of aspect, because I did feel that way when I first got my last job, and I know I'm going to feel that way when I get my next job. And it's just part of growth, because you're writing something and you're like, is this going to work? And I try to remember all of these instances and evolutions that I've done. I was doing something and I could see it in my head and I knew what I wanted to do, but it came out and I was like, is that right? And then I did it and I'm like, how did that work? There is a meme where a junior goes, it worked. And then it shows underneath and the senior's like, it worked. It's like, why did this work? This shouldn't have worked. And then you do the other side. This should be working. Well, if it should be working or it shouldn't be working, the output is doing like what did we do? What did we do here? We did false right here. Well, in our human brains, we go, I'm saying I want to check this first, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I feel like that sometimes I don't want to do things that I'm doing. Yeah, completely, all completely normal, natural, human instinct, because we're using a tool for things that we've never done before. I mean, it's designed to do these things. Think about, we are now creating large language models to replicate human writing patterns. That's crazy, right? If you really sit down and think about it. Well, when they were in a room and they were doing something and they are taking machine learning and learning patterns and doing identifiers, well, then you're doing that and classifiers, and then you turn around and go, all right, so we've classified all this. Now let's have it come out. All right, it's 32 past. Let's see. We've been on for an hour and 41, so I need to keep moving. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I'll get today's video up and published, and we will see everyone tomorrow. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and talk to everyone soon. All right, bye.